And I think it's important when you talk about the affiliates all over California, Charles Houston Bar Association, John Langston, and all of the African American bar associations and the role that they play in all of our lives and our legal careers. And so I'm very honored to present on behalf of the Charles Houston Bar Association because it has played such an important role in my career. You know, today me and Lechala did a training on etiquette in the courtroom. And one of the statements that I made, because we had some young lawyers in the room, about the importance of being involved in organizations like the Charles Houston Bar Association and cable. And with the Charles Houston Bar Association, I first got involved in 1991. And that was the first time I was on the board of Charles Houston, and I'll never forget that meeting, because at that meeting, they had somebody come and explain the organization to us and the importance of the organization. And that person was George Holland. Is George Holland in the room? There's George Holland. But what I remembered that George said, and it still rings today, he said, "We love this organization, so take care of this organization." And I'll tell you, you know, back in those days, being a part of the Charles Houston Bar Association, when you hear about, you know, I look on in the program and I see the Ben Travis Award. You know, I knew Ben Travis, and just all of the legendary folks that started the Charles Houston Bar Association when it was called the Charles Houston Law Club, and what it had grown into. And it was actually very intimidating because you're now in the leadership of the organization, that the individuals that started the organization are still around and still attending the events. And it's very intimidating, hoping that you can, you know, uphold the standards that they had set. So the Charles Houston Bar Association is the oldest black bar association in California, started by just so many legendary people. But the opportunity you get is the people that you meet in the Charles Houston Bar Association and across the state. And you know, when I see Justice Martin Jenkins, when I was a brand new DA, and in fact me and Kamala Harris were in the same law clerk class. Well, during that time, they had municipal court and superior court. And two of the municipal court judges in the Oakland courthouse, or the Wiley Manual Courthouse, was Martin Jenkins and Carol Corrigan, who are now both on the Supreme Court. And I remember that, you know, as a young DA, you'd have to go into the courtroom, and they were both assigned to the courthouse that I was assigned to. And you'd walk into the courtroom and you see Judge Jenkins, and you know, there was just something about his presence that you knew you had to have your stuff together. And with Carol Corrigan, you knew you had to have it together when you walked into those courtrooms. And so, and to see where Marty is today, well, it's no surprise, but man, a lot of memories. So the Charles Houston Bar Association today, why are they called the affiliate of the year? So I have a few highlights of where they are today as an organization. And let me say that when you see what they're doing today, I think Ben Travis, Bob Harris, George Holland, all the individuals that were involved with the creation of the Charles Houston Law Club that eventually became the Charles Houston Bar Association, would be very proud. So this year, under the leadership of Terrence Evans, who is someone that I think I met Terrence 3 years ago, and he had this big old beard, and you know, so you just kind of check him out and say, oh, you know, he's a partner over at Dwayne Morris. Let me tell you, he is probably one of the most impressive individuals that I've met that has come into the Charles Houston Bar Association in many years. And under his leadership this year, and I also have to include Nichelle Holmes, because Nichelle led Charles Houston under those 2 years of COVID, which we all know the challenges that presented. But under Terrence's leadership, this is what they were able to accomplish. Charles Houston hosted more than 150 civil rights events in the past 2 years, partnering with more than 65 organizations across the United States. They collaborated with the California Lawyers Association to create the leadership of Adrianette Chacon and Terrence Evans. Wait a minute. What was the name of the organization, Terrence, that you guys came up with?
The Racial Justice Committee.
The Racial Justice Committee. So they created the Racial Justice Committee of the California Law Association. And this was specifically to address the issues of the day with George Floyd and those issues that were occurring across the country. And so that was an awesome accomplishment to bring that to the state bar. And Charles Houston also facilitated the publication of the inaugural Racial Justice edition of the Litigation Journal, which was circulated to more than 100,000 lawyers and judges in the United States. And Charles Houston just recently created the Charles Houston Bar Association Institute, which has raised $100,000 in 1 year to go to the next generation of young Black lawyers. So with that, I give you Terrence Evans and the Charles Houston Bar Association Affiliate of the Year.